All right, let's pivot over to the New York Mets now, and 3 trades that the Mets should pursue or look into once the lockout's over. I have a whole bunch more teams I'm going to be doing, so if you want me to do a team, let me know in the comments down below. And I'll let you know if it's in the queue or not. If you like stuff like this, if you want to stay engaged during this lockout, hit that subscribe button. If you're not subscribed to the channel yet, hit that bell icon too so you don't miss stuff, because I'm going to keep the energy level high. I'm going to keep the content strong all throughout the lockout. And you'll know if you're notified and subscribed once the lockout's over and things start rocking and rolling, and things are going to get crazy once the lockout's over, because there's going to be less time for teams to fill out their rosters. So I want you to be in the know on everything. So with that, let's get into these 3 trades for the Mets. I mean, as we know, Steve Cohen's been really busy, and he's showing that he's dead serious about winning and putting a championship team together. He's proved that with the way, with the things that he's done over the last 2 years. He's essentially become the 2021-2022 version of George Steinbrenner. And, kudos to him. Makes us miss George Steinbrenner as Yankee fans. But I'm going to get here. So here's trade number 3. I'm going to work my way from 3 to 1. In this trade, the Mets and the Royals. This one, the Mets would acquire Whit Merrifield, who can play outfield, who can play second base. He's among the jack of all trades, but he's a good veteran player that I think would fit nicely on this team with a lot of the other veterans that Cohen has brought in. And he's still a speedster. He steals bases. He's a good contact hitter. He's a good defender as well. So his versatility and his athleticism would play well in Citi Field, and I think he'd be a good teammate, a good leader, and a good addition to that roster. So they would acquire Whit Merrifield from the Kansas City Royals in exchange for Alex Ramirez, who's their number 7 prospect and outfielder, and Robert Dominguez, who's their number 10 prospect, a right-handed pitcher. That should do it. I mean, Merrifield's got 2 years left, but he's a little bit older, and I think 2 top 10s would get it done. And again, he would be a nice fit over here with some of the other guys that they brought in. And again, being able to play outfield, you don't really know if they're going to bring Michael Conforto back, but they do have Starling Marte there, but he can play the infield, can play the outfield. And since Baez isn't back, you also have a good second base complement, in particular if they look to trade him, Jeff McNeil, and I've heard they're going to be trading, they're looking to trade him as well. He's on the market. This gives the team some versatility to replace McNeil, to replace Conforto, and so on. So that's trade number 3. Trade number 2 is with the Baltimore Orioles. So in this scenario, they would acquire starting pitcher John Means. They need one more starter. Okay, they lost Thor, even though they brought in Max Scherzer. They also lost Marcus Stroman. So to me, this is a good trade too. They would acquire John Means, left-handed starting pitcher. He's not a free agent until 2025, so he's got 3 controllable years. Okay, from the Orioles in exchange for JT Ginn, who's their number 5 prospect, a right-handed pitcher. Nick Plummer, the number 9, an outfielder, and what was the last guy? Cavis Cortez, I think his name is. He was a second base / outfield prospect. So in their top 15, and so 3 prospects in the top 15, 2 of which are a top 10, 1 of which is a top 5 in exchange for John Means. I think that would be a solid return. They might have to bump it up a little bit, but again, this is one pitcher. And they're getting 3 prospects in return. Solid prospects, too. They're getting pitching and position-playing prospects. So if they do happen to... And I think they will have an appetite to move John Means, just like I think they'll have an appetite to move Cedric Mullins to get a stockpile of prospects back to accelerate a rebuild. Now, if they stay with Mullins, I would not be surprised either. He's a superstar. But this is an opportunity to get Means off there, and I think this would be a representative trade to do that. And lastly, the final one is with Tampa Bay. The Mets would acquire Kevin Kiermaier, super outfielder, for Jeff McNeil, who's a very super utility guy, and is not a free agent until 2025, so you got 3 controllable years there. And Khalil Lee, who's their number 8 prospect and outfielder. So that one major league player and a top 10 prospect should get it done for a guy like Kiermaier, who's an upper-level outfielder. And he'd be a good fit on that team. Again, defensively skilled, good contact. He's a good defender. He's a good overall player. And again, another solid veteran to bring on the Mets roster. So, and with the guys that they have, that would give them a little bit more offensive firepower. But I think any one of these trades is a doable trade for the Mets. Also, it would make them better either on the field or on the pitching rotation. So these would be solid trades. You guys let me know what you think. What do they need? Who would you trade for? And so on. Okay, my next video is going to be 3 trades for the Los Angeles Angels after the lockout. So you're not going to want to miss it. You know what to do. Talk to you next time.